Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the field. If you're new here, listen, I'm John and I'm so glad you're joining us. Today, we're actually kicking off a very special series based off of my new book, At the End of God's Pen, where we talk about what it means to trust God as the author of your life story. Now, this first episode is called Before the Beginning, Seeing God's Hand in Your Past. And today, I want to take you on a journey, not just to the highlights of your life, but to the very beginning, before you even took your first breath. All right, guys, so let me ask you something. Have you ever looked back, right, at your past and you thought to yourself, where was God in all of that? In the pain, confusion, possibly the broken pieces, it can feel like chaos. Maybe you carry regret. Maybe you've even feeling forgotten. Here's the truth. God was already writing your story even before you knew his name. Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5 is probably one of the most popular verses out there in regards to what I want to talk about. And it says this: Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. Now, just pause for a minute. The creator of heaven and earth, the one who set the cosmos, the one who aligned all the stars, who made all this happen, right? That before you were formed, he knew of you. Isn't that incredible? Like, before your parents ever knew you, God did. He didn't just foresee your life, he formed it. He chose you. He set you apart. This means that your existence was never random. It was intentionally crafted. The Bible further tells us this, and this is in Psalm 139, verses 13 through 16. For you created my innermost beings. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your eyes saw my unformed body, and the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be. This is one of the most tender portraits of God as creator. Imagine that. Like, before your first breath, every single day was already written in his book. Not just the joyful days, but the painful ones. God isn't surprised by your past. He's actually sovereign over it. Let's go a little bit deeper here. Because if we look further into scripture, Isaiah 46:10, it says, I make known the end from the beginning. My purpose will stand, and I will do all that I please. You see, here's this. God sees your life from the start to finish. He doesn't operate in hindsight. He's already at the end of the story, and yet he walks with you through every single page. And then listen, there's Romans 8:28, a verse we cling to in tough times. And we know that all things, God works for the good of those who love him. That's important. Who have been called according to his purpose. This doesn't mean everything feels good, but it does mean nothing is wasted. Not a single chapter. Now, let me be honest here. There were parts of my past I wish I could erase. Pain I didn't understand. Decisions I regretted. But over time, I began to see something beautiful. That even in my darkest chapters, God was present. He was forming me, He was teaching me, He was carrying me. I stopped trying to rewrite the past and instead I started asking, God, what were you teaching me there? Now, let's get to a more sensitive area here. And I want to pause here. I want to speak directly to those of you who may be thinking to yourself, okay, but if God wrote my story, why is it filled with so much pain? Why would a good God allow abuse, trauma, loss, or abandonment in the pages of my life? Friends, That's a very real and raw question. And you're not alone in asking this. The Bible is full of people who cried out in confusion, who cried out in grief. People like Job, people like Jeremiah, people like David. Job had honest grief. Job lost everything, his children, his wealth, his health, and he cried out, "Why did I not perish at birth and die as I came from the womb? I cry out to you, God, but you do not answer." Even the most faithful wrestled with the darkness of their stories. And yet, in the end, Job said, "My ears had heard of you, but now my eyes have seen you." You see, pain didn't push Job away from God, it actually opened his eyes to who God truly was. Listen, God doesn't author evil. It's important for you to understand this. God doesn't cause evil. He doesn't delight in suffering. James 1:13 says, God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he tempt anyone. Listen, we are in a fallen world. But here's the mystery of grace. God can take what was meant for harm and transform it for good. That's what Joseph said to his brothers, like the very ones who sold him into slavery. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done. God didn't cause Joseph's betrayal, but he did redeem it. And he could redeem your story too. Listen, if your life has been filled with hardship, I want you to hear this. Hear me loud and clear on this. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted, and he saves those who are crushed in spirit. That's in Psalm 34:18. Jesus came specifically, according to the book of Isaiah, to bind up the brokenhearted. He came to proclaim freedom for the captives, to comfort all who mourn, to provide for those who grieve, to give them a crown of beauty instead of ashes. That's who God is. He's a redeemer, he's a restorer, he's a father who runs towards prodigals, he sits beside the grieving. So, no, God didn't write your pain as punishment, but he will not waste it. The story may have had a rough beginning, but with God, it's never too late for a redemptive ending. And to be honest with you, you're not defined by what happened to you. You're defined by the God who is healing you, who's offering that healing to you. And according to the scriptures, man, even further, Isaiah 43 says, "Forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing." He who began a good work, it's in Philippians 1:6, he who began a good work in you will carry it to completion. Whatever your story, whatever story you've lived up to now, he's not finished. He's doing a new thing in you. And the author who started the story, he is faithful to finish it. And here's what my encouragement is if this message stirred something in your heart, turn to him, seek after him, and trust him with your heart. And listen, help me out. Give this video a thumbs up, share it, like it, so that other people can hear this message as well. It really helps the channel get the message out and lets me know that this content is meaningful to you. And do me a favor, make sure to subscribe, turn on the notifications so you don't miss next week's episode. The author and perfecter, trusting God with your present. And hey, listen, don't forget to grab a copy of the book at the end of God's pen. I'll drop the link in the description below. Listen, thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time. Remember this, you are not alone. Your past is seen, your pain is known, and your story is still being written by the hand of a good God. All right, guys, until the next one.